15 stars who are unrecognizable after Ozempic. It's scary. What if the faces you've known for decades suddenly looked like different people? In today's entertainment world, dramatic weight loss transformations are leaving fans stunned, confused, and asking tough questions. Some call it a health revolution. Others whisper about pressure image and the hidden cost of fame. But behind every shocking before and after is a story that goes far deeper than appearance. Today on Legends of Black Excellence, we're looking beyond the headlines to understand what's really happening. Stay with us until the end, because the truth behind these transformations may change how you see celebrity health and identity forever. Lizzo. Few artists in recent years have reshaped the conversation around body image quite like Lizzo. She didn't just make hit records, she became a symbol. On red carpets, on stage, and across social media, she championed confidence, joy, and self-love in a body rarely celebrated by mainstream entertainment. For many fans, especially those who grew up seeing only one type of beauty on television, Lizzo felt revolutionary. That's why her recent visible weight loss has sparked such a powerful reaction. It's not simply about appearance, it feels personal to people who saw themselves reflected in her message. When a figure tied so closely to body positivity changes, emotions naturally rise. Her transformation has led to a cultural split. Some supporters applaud her, framing it as a private health journey, a woman taking control of her well-being on her own terms. Others worry it reflects the same industry pressures that have quietly shaped Hollywood for generations. Do you think celebrities who inspire body confidence owe fans an explanation when their own bodies change? Lizzo has spoken before about focusing on feeling strong and energized rather than chasing a number on a scale. That distinction matters. Bodies evolve with age, stress schedules, and health priorities. Yet in the public eye, evolution often gets interpreted as contradiction, even betrayal, rather than growth. What makes this moment so striking is the deeper truth it reveals. Lizzo built a legacy telling people they didn't have to shrink to be worthy, and that message still stands regardless of her current size. But her journey highlights how uncomfortable society remains with body change in any direction. We celebrate transformation stories, yet feel unsettled when they happen to someone tied to a movement. Perhaps the real issue isn't Lizzo's body at all. It's our expectation that public figures stay frozen in time, representing one version of themselves forever, while the rest of us are allowed to change. Oprah Winfrey. For decades, Oprah Winfrey's journey with weight has unfolded in front of the public, making her story deeply personal for millions of viewers who grew up watching her. She has spoken openly about dieting cycles, emotional eating, and the frustration of losing weight only to gain it back. Unlike many celebrities, Oprah never pretended the struggle was simple. Her honesty made her relatable, especially to audiences who understood that weight is often tied to stress hormones and life stages, not just willpower. So when conversations about dramatic transformations and medications like Ozempic began dominating headlines, Oprah's name carried a different kind of weight history, vulnerability, and trust built over decades. In 2024, Oprah did something that shifted the tone of the entire discussion. She acknowledged using doctor-prescribed medication as part of her weight management strategy. That admission mattered. For years, Hollywood culture leaned towards secrecy, with stars crediting clean eating or intense workouts while avoiding the medical side of the conversation. Oprah broke that pattern. She described weight not as a moral failure, but as a biological challenge, one that sometimes requires medical tools alongside lifestyle changes. For many viewers in the 45 to 65 age range, this resonated deeply. Metabolism changes, hormones shift, and what worked at 30 often doesn't work at 55. Hearing someone as influential as Oprah frame it as healthcare rather than vanity helped reduce stigma. Her transformation also sits at the heart of why the topic feels unsettling for some. When a figure so familiar appears noticeably different, it reminds people how powerful these treatments can be and how quickly bodies can change. But Oprah's approach reframes the fear. Instead of presenting weight loss as a secret weapon, she positioned it as one option within a broader health journey. That transparency challenges Hollywood's long-standing illusion that dramatic changes happen through discipline alone. In a media landscape filled with speculation, Oprah's voice stands out not because she transformed, but because she explained why, turning a shocking headline into a conversation about health, aging, and honesty. Sherri Shepherd. Dramatic weight changes in Hollywood often spark whispers, but when the shift happens on daytime television, where viewers feel like they truly know the person, it hits differently. Sherri Shepherd is one of those familiar faces. Audiences have watched her for years as a comedian, actress, and talk show host known for humor, honesty, and relatability. So when she appeared noticeably slimmer on her show, the change didn't go unnoticed. In an era when rapid celebrity transformations are frequently linked to medications like Ozempic, conversations quickly followed. For many long-time viewers, the reaction wasn't just surprise, it was concern, curiosity, and a desire to understand what really changed. Sherri addressed the topic in a way that separates her story from Hollywood mystery. She revealed she had been dealing with pre-diabetes, a wake-up call that pushed her to rethink her health. Rather than framing her transformation around appearance, she talked about cutting sugar, adjusting her diet, and being more intentional about daily habits. That context matters especially for audiences in midlife who understand how blood sugar hormones and metabolism can shift with age. Her weight loss, over 40 pounds, became visible week after week on television, making the journey feel real-time. Unlike sudden red carpet reveals, viewers saw the gradual difference, which gave her explanation credibility and grounded the story in health rather than image. Still, her transformation fits into the larger cultural moment behind headlines about stars looking unrecognizable. The phrase can sound dramatic, even frightening, because it reflects how closely we connect identity to appearance. When someone we've invited into our living rooms for years looks different, it forces us to confront change, not just theirs, but our own. Sherri's story softens that fear. Instead of secrecy, she offered a reminder that weight loss, especially later in life, is often about preventing future illness, not chasing perfection. In a landscape filled with speculation, her openness shifts the narrative from shock value to self-care, showing that sometimes what looks dramatic on the outside begins with a quiet health decision behind the scenes. Monique. When people talk about celebrities who look almost unrecognizable after major weight loss, Monique often enters the conversation not because of a quick Hollywood trend, but because her transformation has been so visible over time. Known for her bold comedy, powerful presence, and Oscar-winning performance, Monique once openly shared that she weighed over 300 pounds. She never hid it, never pretended to fit into the industry's narrow beauty mold. In fact, her confidence at that size became part of her identity. That's why, as her body gradually changed, fans felt the shift deeply. It wasn't just a slimmer figure. It was watching a familiar silhouette evolve in front of their eyes. Unlike sudden, unexplained celebrity transformations that fuel speculation, Monique consistently framed her journey around discipline and health. She documented workouts, early morning training sessions, and a steady commitment to moving her body. Her social media often showed sweat effort and the unglamorous side of change. She spoke about wanting longevity, energy, and strength goals that resonate strongly with audiences over 45 who understand how health priorities shift with age. The difference in her appearance became striking: toned arms, a smaller frame, a completely different stage presence. For some viewers, the word unrecognizable reflects shock. For others, it reflects admiration for sustained effort. Her story lands in the broader conversation about dramatic weight loss in the public eye, especially at a time when medical weight management tools are widely discussed. But Monique's narrative stands out because she made the process visible rather than mysterious. That transparency changes how the transformation feels. Instead of fear or suspicion, the focus turns to consistency and self-care. Still, the emotional reaction people have reveals something bigger. we tie identity to body shape more than we realize. When a star we've known for decades looks different, it forces us to confront change itself. Monique's evolution reminds viewers that transformation doesn't have to erase who someone is. Sometimes it simply reflects a new chapter focused on strength, mobility, and staying healthy for the years ahead. Jennifer Hudson. Few celebrity transformations have been as widely discussed or as visually striking as Jennifer Hudson's. When she first stepped onto the national stage during American Idol, audiences were captivated by her powerhouse voice and emotional depth. Over time, however, another narrative began to unfold alongside her career, a dramatic physical transformation. As photos from red carpets, performances, and television appearances showed a noticeably slimmer figure, many viewers did a double take. In an era where rapid weight loss often gets linked to medications like Ozempic, changes like hers can feel startling, even unrecognizable to longtime fans who remember her earlier image so clearly. What makes Jennifer Hudson's story different is the consistency of her message. She has long described her transformation as the result of a lifestyle change focusing on portion control, balanced eating, and a shift in how she related to food. Rather than emphasizing extreme dieting, she spoke about learning moderation and building sustainable habits. For many adults in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, that approach feels relatable. Metabolism slows, responsibilities grow, and health becomes less about appearance and more about energy and longevity. Jennifer's slimmer figure didn't appear overnight. It evolved as her career did, becoming one of the most recognized weight loss journeys in Black entertainment. Her presence on talk shows and awards stages made the change highly visible, reinforcing just how much her physical image had evolved. Still, her transformation fits squarely into today's broader cultural moment where any dramatic weight change sparks speculation. The word scary in headlines often reflects how quickly the familiar can feel unfamiliar. But Jennifer Hudson's journey reminds viewers that transformation doesn't always signal something secretive or extreme. Sometimes, it represents a long-term shift in priorities, a decision to protect health while navigating an intense career. Her story resonates because it mirrors a reality many people face. The body we start adulthood with isn't the one we carry forever. In the spotlight, those changes look dramatic. Off camera, they're often about balance, discipline, and learning how to care for ourselves in a new stage of life. Kelly Price. Few things capture public attention faster than a beloved voice appearing suddenly different, and that's what happened with Kelly Price. The gospel and R&B powerhouse built her career on soaring vocals and emotional honesty, becoming a familiar presence for fans over decades. So when she re-emerged after a serious health battle looking noticeably slimmer, many people were startled. In today's climate where dramatic weight changes are often linked to medications like Ozempic, the reaction can lean toward shock. But with Kelly, the conversation carried a different tone, less gossip, more genuine concern. Viewers who grew up with her music weren't just noticing a physical change, they were asking if she was truly okay. Kelly had previously revealed that she was hospitalized with COVID-19, a frightening experience that left her fighting for her life. Recovery from a severe illness can take a toll on the body in ways the public rarely sees. Weight loss after hospitalization can be tied to muscle loss, appetite changes, or the long road back to strength. When fans saw her transformation, many connected it to that health crisis rather than quick cosmetic change. For audiences in midlife and beyond, this hits close to home. Illness, medications, and recovery can alter appearance quickly, and those shifts often come with emotional weight. Kelly's slimmer figure, paired with her powerful return to singing, created a mix of relief and lingering worry among supporters. Her story fits into the larger theme of celebrities looking unrecognizable, but it highlights how misleading that label can be. Sometimes what appears dramatic from the outside reflects survival and healing, not trend-driven weight loss. Kelly Price's journey reminds viewers that behind every transformation is a human body that has endured something real. The fear people feel often comes from not knowing the full story. When the spotlight captures only the before and after image, it's easy to forget the medical battles in between. In Kelly's case, the visible change became a symbol of resilience, a body that went through trauma, fought back, and returned to the stage carrying both scars and strength. Tamar Braxton. Celebrity transformations often look sudden from the outside, but for someone like Tamar Braxton, the story has unfolded in waves over many years. As a singer, reality television personality, and outspoken public figure, Tamar has lived much of her life in front of cameras. Viewers have watched her style evolve, her career rise, and her personal struggles play out publicly. Alongside that visibility came noticeable fluctuations in her weight, which have sparked conversation at different points in her journey. In today's environment where dramatic changes are quickly linked to medications like Ozempic, any visible shift can feel shocking. But Tamar's situation has always been tied to something deeper than appearance alone. She has been candid about experiencing stress, depression, and significant health challenges, all of which can affect the body in powerful ways. Emotional strain doesn't just live in the mind, it can change appetite, sleep, energy levels, and hormones. Tamar has spoken about hitting low points, navigating mental health struggles, and working towards stability. For many adults, especially those who understand how life pressures build with age, this resonates. Weight gain or loss during emotional upheaval is common, yet when it happens to a public figure, it becomes a headline. The difference in Tamar's appearance at various times reflects not just lifestyle shifts, but the reality of a body responding to internal battles most people never see. Her journey fits the broader theme of stars appearing unrecognizable, but it also challenges that word. What seems frightening to viewers is often simply change layered with context. Tamar Braxton's evolving look mirrors the truth that bodies respond to mental health medication and life transitions. In a culture focused on visual shock, we sometimes overlook the emotional story underneath. Tamar's openness about her struggles offers a reminder that transformation doesn't always signal a trend or cosmetic pursuit. Sometimes it signals survival, healing, and the ongoing effort to find balance. What appears dramatic on a screen may actually be the visible trace of someone working through invisible battles one step at a time. K. Michelle. In conversations about celebrities who appear almost unrecognizable after dramatic physical changes, K. Michelle often comes up, not just because of weight, but because her entire appearance has evolved over time. The R&B singer and television personality built her brand on bold honesty, powerful vocals, and emotional storytelling. But alongside her music career, her image became part of public discussion. Fans noticed shifts in her body shape, facial features, and overall look, leading to intense scrutiny. In an era when rapid transformations are frequently linked to medications like Ozempic, it's easy for audiences to jump to conclusions. Yet K. Michelle's story reaches beyond simple weight loss. It touches on the pressures women face in entertainment to meet ever-changing beauty standards. What sets her apart is her willingness to speak openly about cosmetic procedures and the serious health issues that followed. She has discussed complications from past surgeries and the physical pain she endured as a result. That honesty changed the narrative. Instead of pretending everything was natural or effortless, she revealed the cost behind chasing an industry ideal. For viewers in midlife and beyond, her experience feels like a cautionary tale. The entertainment world often rewards a certain look, but the pursuit of that image can come with real risks. K. Michelle's later focus shifted toward correcting earlier procedures and prioritizing her health, which itself led to further visible changes in her appearance. Her transformation fits into the broader theme of stars looking dramatically different, but it highlights something deeper than shock value. The word scary doesn't just describe how unfamiliar a face might look, it reflects the hidden dangers behind extreme beauty expectations. K. Michelle's journey reminds audiences that public figures are navigating the same insecurities, amplified by cameras and criticism. Her evolution shows how easily appearance can become tied to career survival in show business. Behind the headlines and speculation lies a more human story, a woman learning sometimes the hard way that health must come before image, even in an industry built on how people look. Missy Elliott. When people talk about celebrities who seem almost unrecognizable after major weight loss, Missy Elliott's name sometimes enters the conversation, but her story is very different from quick-fix narratives. The groundbreaking rapper-producer and creative visionary has always been larger than life, known for futuristic visuals, bold fashion, and unmatched musical innovation. Years ago, fans began noticing a significant change in her appearance. In today's culture, where rapid transformations are often linked to medications like Ozempic, it would be easy to assume a trend-driven reason. But Missy's journey reminds us that not every visible change comes from the same place. She revealed that she was diagnosed with Graves' disease, an autoimmune thyroid disorder that can dramatically affect weight, energy, and overall health. The condition can cause metabolism shifts, heart palpitations, fatigue, and other serious symptoms. Managing thyroid disease often requires medical treatment, lifestyle adjustments, and close monitoring. For Missy, the focus wasn't about image, it was about regaining stability and protecting her health. Over time, her slimmer figure reflected the body adjusting to treatment and a new normal. For viewers in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, this resonates deeply. Hormonal and thyroid issues become more common with age, and changes in weight can happen quickly and unexpectedly when the body is out of balance. Her transformation fits the larger theme of stars appearing dramatically different, but it also shows how misleading assumptions can be. The word "scary" in headlines often captures the shock of visual change, yet the real story can be medical rather than cosmetic. Missy Elliott's experience highlights how easily public perception oversimplifies complex health realities. Instead of a secret shortcut, her journey reflects resilience and adaptation. In a world quick to label every transformation as a trend, her story is a reminder that bodies sometimes change because they must to heal, to stabilize, to function. What looks sudden from the outside may actually be the visible result of an internal health battle fought quietly away from the spotlight. Rick Ross. When conversations turn to celebrities who look dramatically different after major weight loss, Rick Ross stands out not just for the scale of his transformation but for how visible it has been. The rapper once weighed close to 350 pounds, and his larger-than-life presence matched his booming voice and luxury rap image. For years, that size was part of his identity in the public eye. So as his frame steadily shrank and his features appeared sharper, fans did a double take. In today's climate, where rapid changes are often tied to medications like Ozempic, people naturally speculate. But Rick Ross's story unfolded over time, not overnight, making his evolution both striking and layered. Health scares played a major role in shifting his priorities. After experiencing serious medical episodes, including seizures that alarmed both fans and family, Ross began speaking about taking better care of himself. He credited consistent workouts, dietary adjustments, and a more disciplined routine for helping him lose over 100 pounds. He even shared elements of his regimen, publicly showing that the change involved structure and repetition, not just a temporary push. For many men in midlife, his story resonates. Weight gain can creep up through years of touring, late nights, and stress and health warnings often become the wake-up call. Seeing a male figure in hip-hop, a genre that rarely discusses health openly, prioritize longevity, adds another dimension to the transformation. His journey fits the theme of stars appearing unrecognizable, but it also reframes what that word means. The shock viewers feel often comes from seeing a familiar body shape tied to a personality suddenly look different. Yet Rick Ross's transformation reflects survival and adjustment, not simply image management. It highlights how the body can become a warning system, forcing change when health is at risk. In a culture focused on appearance, his evolution serves as a reminder that dramatic weight loss can stem from the desire to stay alive, active, and present for the future. What seems startling on the outside may be the visible sign of a serious decision made behind the scenes. Da Brat? In discussions about celebrities who appear almost unrecognizable after noticeable weight loss, Da Brat has become part of the conversation, especially as fans compare her look today to her early hip-hop years. The pioneering female rapper built her career in the 90s with a bold, athletic image, oversized streetwear, and unmistakable confidence. As time passed, audiences watched her evolve through television appearances, music projects, and personal milestones. So when she appeared slimmer in recent years, particularly after turning 40, many viewers were surprised. In today's environment where dramatic transformations are often linked to medications like Ozempic, quick assumptions can follow. But Da Brat's story has centered more on long-term adjustments than sudden change. She has spoken about focusing on lifestyle changes, including diet shifts, more consistent activity, and being more mindful about overall health. For adults entering midlife, this resonates strongly. The body responds differently after 40. Metabolism slows, recovery takes longer, and health becomes less about appearance and more about feeling strong enough to keep up with life. Da Brat's transformation unfolded during a stage of life that often brings reflection, career stability, family priorities, and a desire for longevity. Her slimmer frame became noticeable on television and public appearances, creating that double-take moment fans experience when a familiar figure looks different from the image fixed in memory. Her evolution fits the larger theme behind headlines about stars looking unrecognizable, but it also softens the fear behind that word. Change over decades can feel dramatic when viewed through before and after images, yet in real time it often reflects gradual decisions. Da Brat's journey highlights how the conversation around celebrity weight loss intersects with aging health awareness and shifting priorities. Rather than chasing a trend, her story reflects a stage of life where maintenance and prevention matter more than image alone. The surprise audiences feel may say less about her transformation and more about how we mentally freeze public figures at one point in time, even as their lives and bodies continue to move forward. Al Roker. When people talk about public figures who look dramatically different after major weight loss, Al Roker is often one of the first names that comes up. For decades, the beloved Today Show weatherman has been a familiar face in American homes, known for his warm personality and steady on-screen presence. So when his body changed significantly over the years, viewers noticed immediately. In today's climate where sudden celebrity weight loss is often linked to medications like Ozempic, audiences may connect the dots quickly. But Al Roker's transformation story stretches back much further and has been publicly discussed for years, making it one of the most visible long-term weight loss journeys in media. Roker underwent gastric bypass surgery, a step he openly shared with the public, turning his health journey into an ongoing conversation about weight accountability and maintenance. He lost a substantial amount of weight following the procedure, and his appearance shifted in a way that felt striking to longtime viewers. But what makes his case stand out is how honest he has been about the ups and downs. He has spoken about regaining weight, at times struggling with habits, and the reality that surgery is a tool, not a permanent fix. For many adults over 45, this feels familiar. Metabolism changes, health scares happen, and managing weight becomes a lifelong process rather than a short chapter. His transformation fits into the broader theme of stars who appear unrecognizable, yet his story removes some of the mystery. There was no secret, just medical intervention, lifestyle changes, and years of public accountability. The scary feeling viewers sometimes describe often comes from seeing someone they've watched for decades look physically different from the version fixed in memory. But Al Roker's journey highlights something deeper: the courage it takes to address health challenges in front of millions. His evolving appearance reflects survival adaptation and the reality that bodies change over time, especially when the goal shifts from looking a certain way to simply staying alive and well enough to keep showing up. Gabure Sidibe. Few celebrity transformations have sparked as much conversation as Gabure Sidibe, the breakout star of Precious. When she first rose to fame, her presence challenged Hollywood's narrow beauty standards, and she quickly became a symbol of confidence and talent beyond size. That early image stayed in the public's mind for years. So when newer photos revealed a dramatically slimmer figure, many viewers were genuinely stunned. In today's climate, where sudden celebrity weight loss is often linked to medications like Ozempic, assumptions come fast. But Gabure Sidibe's journey has been openly discussed, and her transformation didn't come from secrecy, it came from a medical decision she chose to share. She revealed that she underwent bariatric surgery, explaining that her choice was rooted in long-term health concerns rather than image pressure alone. She spoke about a family history of diabetes and wanting to take preventive steps. The procedure led to a major physical shift, changing how her face frame and overall silhouette appeared on screen and in public life. For many adults in midlife and beyond, this resonates deeply. Weight-related health risks can become more serious over time, and medical intervention sometimes becomes part of the solution. Sidibe has also talked about therapy, emotional health, and learning to build a different relationship with food, showing that transformation involves both physical and mental adjustments. Her story fits the theme of celebrities who look unrecognizable because the visual difference truly is striking when compared to her early career. Yet labeling it as simply shocking misses the complexity behind it. What audiences see as a dramatic before and after moment represents years of decisions, medical guidance, and personal reflection. Gabure Sidibe's journey reminds viewers that change can come from a place of survival and prevention, not just appearance. The surprise people feel often comes from realizing that time, health, and personal priorities reshape lives in ways the public doesn't always witness step by step. Sometimes the most dramatic transformations begin quietly, long before the photos make headlines. Fantasia Barrino. When conversations center on celebrities who seem almost unrecognizable after noticeable weight changes, Fantasia Barrino often becomes part of that discussion. Since winning American Idol, her image has evolved alongside her powerful voice and emotional storytelling. Over the years, fans have seen her body shift through different phases of her life and career. At certain moments, she appeared fuller, at others noticeably slimmer, creating that striking before and after contrast audiences remember. In today's culture, where dramatic transformations are frequently linked to medications like Ozempic, quick assumptions are common. But Fantasia's journey has unfolded across many years, shaped by personal circumstances rather than one sudden turning point. She has been open about experiencing stress, emotional struggles, and health challenges, all of which can deeply affect the body. Touring schedules. Personal hardships and the pressures of fame can disrupt sleep, eating patterns, and overall balance. Weight fluctuations often follow those shifts, especially as metabolism changes with age. Fantasia has also spoken about rebuilding her life at different stages, focusing on faith stability and protecting her mental well-being. For viewers in midlife, this feels relatable. Life events, family issues, career pressures, emotional strain can show up physically in ways that are hard to control. The body sometimes reflects internal battles long before words do. Her transformation fits the theme of stars appearing unrecognizable, but it also shows how layered that idea can be. What seems sudden in photos may actually be the result of years of stress recovery and personal growth. The word scary in headlines often captures the shock of visual change, yet Fantasia's story points to something more human, the connection between emotional health and physical form. Her evolving appearance mirrors chapters of resilience, setbacks, and rebuilding. Rather than a simple cosmetic shift, her journey reflects how life's pressures and healing processes shape the body over time. The contrast viewers notice isn't just about size, it's a visual record of survival adaptation and the ongoing effort to find balance in a demanding world. Patti LaBelle. When people talk about stars who seem almost unrecognizable after weight changes, Patti LaBelle is a powerful example, but her story is rooted in health, not image. The legendary singer, whose career spans decades, has always been known for her commanding stage presence and soulful voice. Over the years, longtime fans noticed her figure become slimmer, especially compared to earlier eras of her career. In today's celebrity culture, where dramatic transformations are often linked to medications like Ozempic, viewers may jump to conclusions. Yet Patti LaBelle's journey began long before those conversations dominated headlines, and her motivation was deeply personal and medical. She has spoken openly about being diagnosed with diabetes, a life-changing moment that forced her to rethink how she lived and ate. Managing blood sugar requires discipline, awareness, and consistent lifestyle adjustments, especially as the body changes with age. Patti embraced healthier eating habits and a more structured approach to her well-being, which naturally led to visible weight loss over time. For audiences in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, this resonates on a very real level. Metabolic conditions become more common, and choices once made casually suddenly carry serious consequences. Her transformation reflects what many people experience privately, the realization that health must come first. Her evolving appearance fits the theme of stars looking unrecognizable, but the story behind it shifts the focus from shock to understanding. Aging, chronic illness management, and longevity shape the body in ways that can be dramatic when viewed across decades. The scary feeling some viewers describe often comes from comparing present-day images to memories frozen in time. But Patti LaBelle's journey highlights resilience rather than mystery. Her slimmer figure is less about chasing beauty standards and more about staying strong enough to continue performing and living fully. The transformation we see is a visual reminder that survival, adaptation, and self-care can quietly reshape a person over time, not for applause, but for life itself. Dramatic celebrity weight transformations always capture attention, but the stories behind them are often far more complex than headlines suggest. From medical conditions and aging to mental health, stress, and lifestyle changes, these visible shifts reflect deeply personal journeys rather than simple image makeovers. For many stars, the goal isn't looking different, it's living longer, managing illness, or reclaiming control over their bodies. Still, public reactions reveal how strongly we tie identity to appearance, especially with figures we've watched for decades. On Legends of Black Excellence, we have to ask, are we witnessing vanity survival or something in between?